Right inside this building are soft cell labs where researchers are exploring the possibilities of printing live organs and tissues. Austin, Danny, the State of City address is meant to highlight things from 2016 while laying out the vision for the plans of 2017. Hundreds of thousands of people are walking down the mall on their way to the final destination in front of the White House. You can see as you look around just a sea of signs, a sea of people, a sea of pink hats. I'm standing here on the football field at Welcome All Park where the 12-year-old boy passed out after a long practice. The argument has always been whether tampons were more of a necessity than other women's products like makeup. But as you can see in this store, tampons are under the section Women's Health. On these plants are little hops cones, and if you tear one off, the inside is all yellow. That is the oil they use to flavor the beer. I'm standing in this area of the forest where they dropped the retardant. You can see all around me all the pink leaves. That pink shows the chemical that's supposed to slow down the fire if it does get to this point. That way, rescue officials can come out and control it. I'm here in Washington, D.C. at the inauguration of the 45th President, Donald Trump, and we're just hours away. That starts at 11:30. You can see behind me, I'm at a security checkpoint. Ken McGurn and Rod Smith are walking away disappointed tonight after losing their respective elections. But we are still waiting on those general election results for the president. Donald Trump's campaign rally started at noon. Most of the supporters are now inside Fox Theater, but across the street, protesters are still singing, chanting, getting across their message. Fortunately, the protesters have remained civil throughout the morning. I talked to an official who said there should be 11,000 people here today, which puts this venue over capacity by 4,000 people. So I'm here with Sally McCraney standing in line at the Donald Trump rally here in Ocala. So Sally, how are you feeling today? And the pantsuit kind of supports Hillary Clinton in that way.
Absolutely. Hillary is always wearing a pantsuit. So I'm wearing my pantsuit today in support of
Show the pantsuit. Show the pantsuit. She looks great. Reporting live from UF campus, reporting live from the Gainesville Police Department, Evyn Moon, WUFT News. Donald Trump told the crowd today that Florida is a must-win swing state essential to his election. Doors to the Southeast Livestock Pavilion opened at 9 this morning, and Donald Trump took the stage at about noon. In the meantime, I was able to talk to several supporters who attended the rally.
Hillary, lock her up.
It wasn't hard to tell that the thousands of people who attended Donald Trump's rally had two things in common: their trust in the Republican nominee and their distrust in the opposing Democratic nominee. When asking about Hillary Clinton,
a liar, deplorable.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
She would be the most dishonest and the most corrupt person ever elected to high office, and I don't think it would be close.
But of the thousands, one didn't feel the same way.
I'm here to peacefully support the candidate of my choice and to peacefully protest the candidate at this rally.
But his protest didn't come easy.
A lot of threats coming in, and then after that, just a lot of get educated, you're a dummy, some cursing, a couple of belligerent people yelling, kind of drunk in my face.
So how will Trump supporters feel if Hillary does take office?
A civil war?
If he does get elected, I believe you're going to be very surprised at the reaction of the real patriots in this country.
But most of the supporters today have faith that Trump will take the White House. I talked to an official who said there should be 11,000 people here today, which puts this venue over capacity by 4,000 people.
Don't believe what the polls are saying, because these Trump rallies are full of people that want a change.
He made us believe in ourselves again. He made us feel as if we were really who we are in this world.
Many women were chanting, "Women for Trump." So I asked how they felt about the comments Trump was heard saying about women this past weekend.
That was 11 years ago. Does not matter today.
Anything he said, I've said 4 times as bad.
One of the many issues was radical Islamic terrorism, as Trump puts it. They believe he has the best plan.
I believe he's going to bomb the hell out of them. That's what we need to do. Bomb the hell out of them, not play with them.
Yes, the rhino's name is Henry. He's 35 years old, and he's lucky to be alive. With help from his caretakers, Henry was just able to escape from an electrical fire at his shelter yesterday. But now Henry is in need of a new home. Henry the rhino spent most of the day laying in a pond across a field from what was his home. It's now pieces of torched wood and piles of debris. Yesterday morning, the owners of Carson's Wildlife Conservation got a call about a fire and immediately ran towards the smoke.
First thing I thought, I'm looking for Henry out here, and then I thought, oh my God, he's on fire. I don't even, I want to start crying. I was just horrified for him.
Barry says within 10 seconds, the whole shelter was going up in flames, but his first priority was to keep Henry safe.
Grabbed it by the horn and tried to turn him because he kept going towards it, and I put the blue barrel. Come on, Henry. And finally, I have a real good bond with Henry, and he started turning, and as he turned, I kind of got my foot caught, and then something ripped. I felt a tear.
Barry had broken his foot in his efforts to keep Henry away from his burning home.
Actually sat with Henry for the next 4.5 hours because he was pretty scared and just wanted, he's 35 years old and I was a little worried.
So even though you needed to go to the hospital, you stayed with him for another 4 hours?
I was planning on going to the hospital because the paramedics, they came with the fire trucks, they said, you need to go. And I said, well, as soon as I just make sure Henry's all right.
Yeah. Barry's wife, Christine, was doing everything to secure what was left of the building.
When I get in that mode, I'm just concentrating and focusing on the task at hand. And before the fire was even out, we were rebuilding the fence.
I'm standing inside Henry's home that was completely burned down. You can see that the roof has collapsed and most of the railings are completely charred black. They've become ash. There's piles of charred rubble still laying on the ground. Other than a few minor scratches, Henry was not badly hurt, but his habitat is destroyed. The Wildlife Conservation started a GoFundMe page to rebuild Henry's home. They've already raised nearly $4,000.
And my heart is it's hard to describe the feeling when the community comes together. All our family. They're not a species like they are in a zoo. They're Henry. And who happens to be around.
Barry and Christine had a meeting with contractors this afternoon to determine how to rebuild this shelter and how much it will cost. With help from the community, they hope to build Henry his new home as soon as possible.
To make a statement that is heard globally, let alone nationally or in your community, it takes a lot of actual labor, like the armchair activists and the Facebook posters. I think real activism happens with boots on your feet.
Women's rights are under attack. What do? We fight back.
Hazel Levy was one of the hundreds of thousands of people who took part in the Women's March on D.C.
Everyone here is for one common goal, and that's equality for women's rights and equality for everyone.
To make a statement, to push forward an agenda that's good for the people of the United States.
I mean, this is the future. We have to make it ours again.
I'm marching for my kids.
Just one day after Donald Trump was sworn in as America's 45th president, the marchers challenged his administration to respect the rights of women and minorities.
To show solidarity with all the other people for the causes here and to show my objection to our current president.
There's two sides to every story. I can only share our side of the story. And our side of the story is that, like Donald Trump, the biker is very outspoken. The biker didn't like the direction the country was going. They've been calling us names, and we've been nothing but kind to them.
What kind of names?
They're calling us a racist and that this is their city and that I should leave. It's just been kind of it's just discouraging seeing how people are reacting and how they're acting. And, we just like to think that people could come together despite their differences.
Hazel Levy says this movement is more than Donald Trump, and the march is just beginning.
The government's not my audience. People like me have never made the laws, and people like me have never enforced the laws. And so, to me, I'm looking to the people for true governance. And I'm sure that people will continue to be motivated because we're going to continue to see troubling policy come out of this administration. So this administration is going to fuel the movement. I am sure of that.